very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society.
You're in violation of secure communication procedures, Commodore.
So we just went ahead and fixed the glitch.
There is no America. There is no democracy.
Our fifth objective, a new world order.
There are no Russians. There are no Cubans. There are no Russians. There are no Arabs. There are no third worlds. There is no West.
Right-wing conspiracy.
What do you call it when the assassins accuse the assassin?
A new world order.
Thank you for plugging in to the Stones Unturned podcast.
Well, just a second there, Professor. We fixed the glitch.
I'm your host, Professor Thomas Henry Horan.
He reads everything.
Hello there, you lucky devils. You better bet your bippies he reads everything. He doesn't know whether to shit or go blind, but he reads everything. I don't know if you've heard. Hi, Tony. Long time no see. Long time no chat, perhaps. Forget Tony. Now I've lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. Have you seen the news? I hate to sound like an old man, but what in the Sam hell is going on in this country? I was just thinking earlier today, 75%. How many Americans alive in, let's say, 1965 are alive today? Ninety-two percent of people born in 1965 were still alive in 2021. But how many World War II veterans? But of all the people who were alive in the mid-60s when I was born, 75% of them are dead. 91.9% of my generation is alive. Rock on, my dudes. I want a live stream so bad. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay for a month of you-know-whom. And what we're going to do is we're going to watch movies and things. Right now, I want Repo Man playing in the background of this whole entire podcast, but I can't do that. I want to do that, so I will do that. So give me a couple of days. I got to get my paper straight. I just got through panic buying all the toilet paper at Walmart. So that had nothing to do with today's news. I do that every Saturday. But keep your fingers crossed. What in the Sam hell is going on in this country? My uncle, World War II vet, in the shit, the heavy shit. The worst he said that he was ever in was Saipan. That was 21 days and nights, 24 hours a day. He didn't dare fall asleep. Comes home, half his squad is killed. Comes home without a scratch. First person to admit it. Not to be trifled with. He would say, I've been shot at. My uncle would say, I've been shot at and missed and shit at and hit. Trump has been shit at and missed and shot at and apparently hit. If it's real. Well, two other people were shot. Two attendees of this rally were shot. Hi, Shane. Oh, I want a live stream like a motherfucker. So now that we're done with the horrifying crap like John Bonet or whatever, I'm going to start... I think I'm just going to go eventually it's going to probably be a premium YouTube channel because we're not going to need our own private streaming server. But I haven't made that decision yet. But I want to go ahead and go back to do some live streams while I'm still here. Where we're going to watch movies. I'm going to show you a couple of really cool things that I don't talk about myself because who the hell cares? But I want to show you a couple of things that, like, and now doing this podcast, I'm looking back on. I can show you a couple of things now. Then we're going to zip right to Zodiac, probably. And JFK. I'm now going to try to squeeze in as much JFK in every episode as I can from now on, because it's time. That's the big one. That's the big case. Out of Manson, all these connected cases, the big one is JFK. But you know nothing about the assassination of JFK. You know nothing about JFK. A lot of you do. So now it's going to be your time to shine more and more and more as we go along. And then give me some time to do a full-blown JFK episode to kick it off. But I'll start working in more and more JFK. But Zodiac, it's going to be Zodiac coming out of your ears. But I won't be in a rut so much. We can now bounce around. You guys have finally seen all of the background material that you need to start really season 1, episode 1 of the Stones Unturned podcast should start tomorrow, maybe Monday. But this, I have an excuse. I have to absorb this. I have to sleep on this. I was so close to falling asleep. It wasn't funny. By the way, this is an authentic hat. When President Trump, for better or worse, came to Southern Illinois to our airport down here, you know, the old deadheads who now follow Trump, selling the Trump merchandise. Remember, they were on 60 Minutes and stuff. I had to get a hat. And this hat has increased in value exponentially. It's not autographed. If it were autographed. But I had to see the silly son of a bitch because I like him for reasons that people don't. He's an entre-fucking-preneur. But he lets it all hang out. He's like Peyton Manning. He is Peyton Manning. He's as smart as Peyton Manning. But he's not Peyton Manning. No, Peyton Manning, he does that nice guy, aw shucks. He knows when, and he does it. In real life, you've seen him. Fucking Julius on Monday Night Football in front of Julius's mom. That's Peyton Manning. Tom Brady has a really hard time faking it. You know, I hate that son of a bitch because, you know, you got to respect him. Even if no matter how much cheating he may or may not have done, 8 rings is 8 rings. And I'm going to talk about Tom Brady when we talk about Heart of Darkness, the novel. Watch me. But with Trump, when you're an entrepreneur, let alone a private investigator, let alone an investigative journalist, you don't get much of a chance to be nice. It's a nice little thing to have in your toolbox. When I started getting even interested in teaching in grad school and post-grad school, I just had a toe in it, and I took all these classes, and I did peer-to-peer tutoring and all this stuff, got really fascinated by it. Had a great experience as a teacher in my own career. But I had to learn how to pretend how to be fucking nice. And I'm not nice. I don't have a nice bone in my body. But I had to learn. And I thought, well, you know, I've been a bartender, you know, I can fake nice. But you have to be nice. Because this isn't high school. I'm not a parole officer. I'm not a prison guard. These are paying customers. My retention numbers were sky high. Don't kid yourselves. But I faked it for so long. Some people think I'm nice. So Trump got shot a little bit. Trump got shot a little bit. And he's one of these guys, I just talked about this. Ronald Reagan, bang, bang, bang. Well, what the fuck's going on? No, you duck. How... You know who doesn't duck when they hear shots? A sociopath. A sociopath. One who's never been in combat. An ordinary person who's never been in combat hears gunshots, they duck. It's natural human instinct. Save my ass, even if you don't save anybody else's. A person who's been in combat like Walter, there's two possible responses, man. They hit the deck like they just drilled into you, and sometimes that's when they calm down and take care of business. So neither Trump nor Ronald Reagan they're never in combat of any kind. Hey, what the fuck's going on? Who do you think you are? Bam! And it just grazed his cheek. He's going to have a badass scar going into this election when he goes on stage with NATO bros and shit for the 4 years. He's going to have a badass battle scar, and he got that battle scar while he was running against all odds. I am his biggest fan. What I love about him is, and a lot of people love about him is, I don't like what he says, but I appreciate the fact that he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's Harry fucking Truman. He's Teddy fucking Roosevelt. He wears his heart on his sleeve. What's wrong with that? Have you ever, is it 30 for 30 or Football Life? The one about Bill Parcells? A Jersey guy. Guy who wore his heart on his sleeve. Guy who wore his heart on his sleeve. What's wrong with that? You know, the poet warrior. That's a poet warrior. Trump wears his heart on his sleeve. Now he's a warrior. If it's real, I don't know how you can fake this. We turn around and look and see what the fuck's going on instead of ducking. That's not courage. That's a complete and total lack of concern for the future. Honestly, and you know what a big fan I am of history and politics, I don't think he did that bad of a job as president. Maybe style counts for something. I don't know. Certain people have that certain je ne sais quoi. I don't know what. They have that I don't know what. I've always been a fan, although I wouldn't necessarily want to sit down and have dinner with him. No, let me put it another way. I love to sit down and have dinner or a beer or a cup of tea. He doesn't drink. With President Trump. You know, he's entitled to be called president, even if he's been convicted of whatever. But forget all that. But you can't take him anywhere. I have so many friends I can't take anywhere. But conversation, mwah. There's about 50 of us, right? Me, the 47 Stone Inn, and Manny's two spooks. Spooklets. There's about 50 of us. We should show up somewhere. We should all show up at the Virgin Sturgeon. If I win the Powerball, I'll fly us all to Sacramento and we'll go to the Virgin Sturgeon. We'll just be... We won't be anything special on the Virgin Sturgeon. And I'm not kidding. I know what you're thinking. How can any of this horseshit be true, let alone all of it? My dad had the same problem. And the thing is, I'd seen enough with my own eyes when he was alive. And then after he passed away, God rest his soul, I would meet people who knew him and they'd start telling, and it was more than he'd ever let on. Yeah, what I did. I'll tell you how I became a nice guy. I used to pretend to be my dad. If my dad was teaching this class, here's how he would teach it. And it worked. Best education. That old man gave me an education you couldn't buy for $1 million. And he would appreciate the humor of this situation. He would appreciate the humor of the entire... He would be horrified. Well, he's no quitter. Reagan used to say, missed. But when they didn't miss. Reagan, they're trying to pull him down and he pulls himself up. I think there's some silly son of a bitch out there throwing lead over here. It didn't even cross his mind they were shooting at him. Trump was the same way. I think there's some silly son of a bitch over there throwing lead around. He did not duck or flinch until he got shot. Watch. I'll have the sound off. Watch. They have it. I know they have it on Fox. The Secret Service, in my opinion, were about a half a step slow, but who am I to judge?
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Yeah, bang, 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 bang. What the hell's going on over there? He should have been pulled to the stage after one shot went off. Right? Let me rewind this. Here we go again. See? He doesn't. He's like, well. Watch this again. He's like, well, God damn it. I'll be back in a second. See? I think the first shot buzzed. Watch, he flinches, then he gets hit, then he goes down. Watch. First he flinches. Yeah, see? Look. He turns and looks. Can you see my shoulder? So look at his far shoulder. He turns and looks, and then he flinches, and then he gets hit, and then he thinks about it, and then he goes down. An entrepreneur is the kind of person who focuses on a goal and doesn't let anything get in their way. Believe me. And yeah, if it was show me a premeditated murderer and I'll show you an entrepreneur. Watch. He's like a bee sting or something. Like a bee stung me. I love him. Oh, what the hell? I'll vote for him. You gotta vote for a guy like that. He hears gunshots. He hears a fastball going past his ear. And he feels a little sting. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to duck. Now let's count the gunshots before the Secret Service leap into action. They seemed about a half a step slow. If not a whole step slow. But I'm no expert on that. Yet. You know, it's kind of like Kennedy's limo driver, who should have known better. Instead of stepping on the gas, he stepped on the brake. And then the shot hits Kennedy. Kennedy was already dead but the third shot hits him in the head. As you can clearly see in the Zapruder film. To a degree, I never... Next week. Tomorrow. Tonight. No sign of Stormy. Hi, Goose. Hi, John. John, tell him, don't worry. We've been through worse. That's why this is where us old people come in handy. Us old people, be calm on the outside. Just roll your eyes. America. America. You read about periods in history. World War I, coincident with the global influenza pandemic, a real pandemic. It killed more young people than anybody else. This was a real problem. No one even knew what a virus was yet. No, they had a hunch that there was a thing called a virus, but influenza is such a tiny virus. Then as soon as the war's over, there's this massive revolution in Russia. It cannot be overstated. The consequences. The United States. You know the United States invaded Russia, right? And then he said, let me get my shoes. Why? What happened to his shoes? They take his shoes off? Who stole his shoes? Somebody. Did the future president of the United States, did he get shoe jacked? Did he get shoe jacked in Philly? Did he go to Philly and get shot over his shoes? You have to respect that. Trump would have to respect that. Where'd you get them shoes? Knock the motherfucker's nose off. Alright. Nice shoes. Those are the kind of shoes. And then that little punk grows up to be president of the United States. You know Lincoln was a professional wrestler, right? So us old people need to act calm. We actually shouldn't be. Don't laugh. I'll do all the laughing for you. Either one, I died and I'm now in heaven. Because as far as I can tell, I am in heaven. And I've been in heaven, well, for at least 5 years. I'm definitely in heaven now. Well, as soon as I get out of the hospital, Donald Trump starts running for president, and then he's actually winning, and then it's like, is this a joke? Because I wouldn't put it past him. But I'll tell you when I got impressed. Now remember, I was heavily medicated still. No, I wasn't. Well, no. And Hillary. Remember Hillary? Remember Hillary? All I'm saying is, that body doesn't have a scratch on it. After all these years, Hillary doesn't have a scratch on it. Not one scratch, that's all I'm saying. These shots sounded like they came from a long way away, by the way. The shooter's dead. Oh, how do you like this one? The shooter's dead. You'd think they'd want to take that one alive. Wouldn't you? Am I watching He gets up. They help him off, but he gets up. Look. Look. This is his... Look. Election over. Look at this photograph. Open image in new tab. Is this staged? I'm not saying anything. All I'm saying is, this election's over. because there's a razor straight line. I don't think that's fake. I think he got scratched. He got scratched and he got his little ear pierced. He will be getting a red, white, and blue earring. I'm going to go out tomorrow and get a red, white, and blue earring. This is the really hard part of your ear to get pierced, by the way. There's stoners and hippies and whatnots out there who are looking at that going, yeah, rock on, brother, rock on. See, it looks like Iwo Jima, except it's Trump. This has to be Look, he doesn't, there's no red anywhere in this picture except Trump's face. There's some blood on the Secret Service man's coat right there. You don't get your guns out or anything. There's a woman who's shielding the former, future. It's over. The election's over. What are they going to say at the September debate? What is he going to say? What's he going to say? What's he going to say? Yeah, there's a woman putting herself between the you-know-who and the bullets. She's also getting out of the way of the camera. I'm not saying anything. All I'm saying is this election is over. What next? And the shooter's dead. Hi, Channel. Why was the roof not secured? Well, I didn't see where the shots came from, Channel. Where'd you get that? Hi, Channel. Channel asked, Channel gets a pumpkin sticker for... That's a good question, Channel. That's a good question. We might just have us an excuse to start live streaming on the premium thing again. And don't worry if you missed the live streams. Oh, this is very big. I forgot. I should have mentioned this first. The problem has been fixed. The problem of accidentally unmuting yourselves, you don't know you're not muted, and, I understand. That problem's fixed. It's like the nuclear keys. It takes both of us to unmute you. I can't unmute you without you knowing or without your permission, and you can't unmute yourself accidentally or at all. That problem's fixed because let me tell you, that was the best way to live stream. It was better than the old channel that we had. And download the app for sure and watch it on the app. There's nothing wrong with Zoom, believe me. That's the best way to live stream. And then we can watch movies. I want to just watch movies. I want to sit down and watch some movies. With me interrupting relentlessly, or at least watch big chunks of movies, Well, he's a warrior now, Shane. He's got more battle scars than I do. He got shot in the service of his country, Shane. What do you want? Conveniently enough. But that looks pretty real. That's a razor straight... Ow! There is somebody throwing lead at us. Look at this photograph. I couldn't have staged it any better myself. He did not let himself be dragged away. He stood up and Watch the movie Walker from 1987 about William Walker. In some ways, that was a very difficult part to play, I think, and I think Ed Harris knocked it all the way out of the park. He plays a guy who knows. Right? These battles, one reason so many of these guys thought the Civil War would be over in 6 weeks was because they had fought a bunch of little wars down around South America. This is not a new thing. We've been doing this since before the Civil War. This is the Knights of the Golden Circle. And William Walker was an entrepreneurial mercenary colonel who led this little army a couple of times. He tried to overthrow the government of Mexico and blah, 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 blah. They're in this little battle for this little town, which is going to tip the balance in this country. And he's walking through. It's a couple of guys are getting shot or whatever. And he just walks through like he wants the painting to look because he knows that's what's going to matter. His plans, his strategies, they mean nothing. The only thing that matters now is how he stands up in the face of fire, leading his men from the front. This, you gotta give the silly son of a bitch credit. That's what's so brilliant about it. What's going on exactly? The shooter's dead. Look at this picture. The election's over, for better or worse. What are they going to say? He deserved it? Nobody likes to hear that. What are they going to say? He was asking for it? They're all asking for it. There are 300 million psychotic apes in this country. What was my point? My point was this: 75% of the people who were alive around the day I was born are now dead. All of the World War II people, including my uncle, who freely admitted he'd been shot at and missed and shit at and hit, are dead. Or in freezers. Let's face it. They're gone. They've not just been replaced by their children and grandchildren. They've been replaced by immigrants. How many immigrants in the last 60 years? How many immigrants? Because they opened the floodgates in 63, the same year that they made the abortion pill available. Because they knew that they would have to replace all those babies with. So we're talking several million a year. How many immigrants to U.S. since 1965-ish? 60 million. Modern immigration wave brings 59 million to U.S. And the population in total has gone from 175 million to over 300 million. And that's even if you don't count the you-know-whos. And physically, it's gone. My way of life is gone. There are no family farms. They no longer exist, except for a few hippies who have these organic farms, and I root for them all the time. But now I'm old enough to be their parent or grandparent. My world is gone. This is comic book Banana Republic shit. Please stop this, people. Please. I don't care who you're for or who you're against. Please stop doing stupid shit. Please stop doing January 6s in this stupid shit. You're not helping. You're not helping anything at all. Please stop this. But I can't stop laughing at it. I'm fiddling while Rome burns. I don't know what to tell you. My America's gone, long gone anyway. Let's face it. And it ain't coming back. For better or worse, it's gone. It's completely gone. Like my marbles. Now, does Manny have an alibi? He's got people down in Pittsburgh. I just want to stop the rumors before somebody starts them. Does Manny have an alibi for this? Look at the blue sky. Got a little corner of the flag in there. But you have to give... But that movie Walker, there's a scene where he does this without explaining it to you like I did. He just knows, and he can. He knows what it's going to be worth if it works. Even if he dies, he knows he'll be immortal. He's leading from the front. You know, it's a fascinating movie because you instantly see where the attitudes came from among the officer corps in the Civil War. And a lot of the political class. Not just assuming the war would be quick and easy, but that things like valor were going to matter. We're going to make the difference. This kind of bullshit makes a difference. That was a little hard to fake. Because I think I can see a hole in his ear. And that's a straight line. At first I thought blood had dripped down on his cheek. And then I thought, well, he got a blood pack but no. That looks real. And here's one more thing. What effect is this going to have on him? You know Hitler survived 47 major assassination attempts. All it did was convince him that God had chosen him. Well, he called it providence. It just made him more self-confident. People who met him said all he could talk about was how easy it would be to kill him. There could be somebody behind that curtain. There could be somebody on that balcony. Channel has a point. Why wasn't the roof secured? Okay, Shane, hey, what happened to some of the chat? Why is some of the chat gone? Has this thing... I've been recording. I just forgot what setting I was looking for. Oh, stats. Docs. Stats. There it is. 0 dropped frames. Right? 0 drop. Has been streaming pretty good. Looks pretty good. Looks like there's a hell of a lag, though. I think the lag is on my end when I'm watching it. Yeah, why wasn't that roof secured? Oh, sorry, Shane. I didn't mean to. Yeah. Possible future president. I'm telling you, the election's over. Look at this picture. Yeah, but see, Shane, they got a deal with YouTube. Also, I'm writing on my 3rd ticket now, okay? The other thing is they're not live streaming. See, if I play copyrighted video during a live stream, that's when YouTube casts a kitten. But I've done that too many times before I could figure it out. If I embed an old B movie, if I embed a video, usually if I use clips, then they'll just give me a thing like it's ineligible for monetization or whatever. Those don't count as strikes. But when I play a clip or a movie that somebody has put a copyright claim on YouTube, then I get a strike. But how can you fuck up that lucky? This is the thing. But what has this podcast been about? Shit like this being fake. It's like the whole thing is scripted, but it can't be. You can't script. I mean, this whole campaign. No, to be able to use certain movies and certain videos, they've got permission from the copyright holder. Maybe they are the copyright holder. Listen, I've spent 5 years gaming out this system. So, and also I've just attracted, I've got the stink of conspiracy theory all over me. So, no, I will not be doing that on YouTube. That's not going to happen. But I want to get it out of my system. Oh, a complicated thing? Yeah, I see what you're saying now. No, I'm not going to do that. Now I get it. Sorry. I was thinking more about the life of our beloved former and future president than it was about my own technical problems. Okay, Shane. Now here's one more thing. You need to learn about the paying subscribers of the Stones Unturned podcast. All we have to do is 2 feeds. Have you been paying any attention to what I've been trying to do off? Yeah, you and I could do it. Piece of cake. But you and I don't pay $10 a month to watch this channel. Not the YouTube channel, but the premium channel. But I'm going to go ahead. It's all paid up. That other website, the premium website with its own private streaming capability, and where all the premium videos are now, that'll be up until at least after Thanksgiving or whatever. So I want to take advantage of it. But it's $15, $16 a month to do on my Zoom Pro account to do live streaming like that, which it works great. It works great, and it's real simple. And we don't need 2 feeds. We're not doing riff tracks. I could do riff tracks. You could probably do riff tracks. I'm not saying you couldn't do it. I'm not saying I couldn't do it. I'm saying a lot of people who give me money couldn't do it. Wouldn't do it. I'm lucky I have any subscribers at all. But we will blast off from now on. I'm talking about doing, when I'm putting a slideshow together, I'll just go on. See, that's another thing. I want to get the premium live streaming going again one more time and try this. When I am putting a slideshow together, I'm doing that live. And I may be talking to you guys. I may be talking about anything. I may stop and play a movie clip or look for a movie clip and just let you guys watch. And then I can start doing that on when I switch over to a premium YouTube channel. But don't pay for the premium YouTube channel yet. But the time will come when the content will overlap because I won't have to have a private streaming server. And we'll be ready for that. Because I can see that day coming anyway. But in the meantime, I want to take advantage of it. So, yeah, stop making America a banana republic. Please. But I don't even know who I'm talking to anymore. Well, 92% of my own generation. Everybody I know is dead. Wow. I'm in that 8%. I'm in that lucky 8. I'm in the 92%, and I should be dead. So, I think I am. I think I passed away and I've gone to heaven. Yeah, I think I have. I'm enjoying the Aaron Rodgers anticipation more than Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Rodgers' fans. Why is it so hot in here? Yeah, why wasn't the roof secured? So we're going to have a lot to talk about here. So, and I'm not going to be able to talk about most of it on YouTube, probably. I'll see what I can do. See, I have another YouTube channel, but that got to be... Shane, having 2 YouTube channels was far more than the average booster could or would cope with. Hi, Nathan. So I'm probably tomorrow. I want to show you... I'll see if I can get one together for you tomorrow. A little bit about myself that I can finally say. Now that I'm retired from teaching. And don't have to pretend that I'm a nice guy. See, when you're an adjunct professor, nobody gets to know you. So, you can go undercover as a nice guy. Shane, you're going to sit there and watch me do whatever I do. Ask my students. I want to show you the most brilliant thing ever. It's an opening sequence. It's an act 1, scene 1 from an episode of The Simpsons. And I'm going to show you at least part of an episode of Futurama, the one about evolution. I would love to talk about Rick and Morty, but we'll see how that goes. Well, thanks, Shane. I'm going to continue doing those. I'll continue doing free episodes. But I can do those episodes off the top of my head. Episodes where I have to do a lot of research like I've been doing, those are going to cost money. So, and maybe people won't be willing to pay. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get the premium, maybe tomorrow, because I want to watch some movies and talk to you guys about some stuff before we move forward. I never ask people to believe anything I tell them, or never ask them to believe, well, I know this, I know that. But I found a couple of cool things that I can show you that might fill in some blanks. Oh, yeah, Drew and I and Ross, yeah. I like Ed's show when I have time. I love being on Ed's show. Do you guys remember the time I was on Ed's show and that guy called in and confessed to murdering Bill Colby? Do you remember that? If I recall, that was the last time I was on Ed's show. It wasn't. I had nothing to do with it. But that's it. No, I'm sure there are some great podcasts out there. There's a great documentary series going to come out soon. It will be announced soon, I guess, on Netflix. It's being advertised. I don't know if they have a date yet. About JonBenet. It will be worth watching, I think. And there's a lot of other documentaries, some recent ones we can talk about. I'm not going to sit here and rip off the copyrights of stuff that's out there now. But for crap that was, movies from the 50s, I know somebody somewhere out there snagged the copyright to it. I don't give up. I wouldn't give 5 kopecks. I wouldn't give 1 kopeck of it. This is insane. On top of everything else, this is insane. What are the updates? Assassination attempt on Trump leaves 2 hurt, 2 dead, including the shooter. Wow, somebody was killed? But the president is okay. Yeah. Because they know. I mean, they know that the world is watching. Let me get my shoes. He walked off. They helped him, but he walked off. Here's the other campaign ad right there. No, there's the other one. Yeah, and look. Here's door number 2. Miss W yet? Miss Jimmy Carter yet? Speaking of 50 years ago. Remember 50 years ago, we had sunspots and solar storms and auroras, and the power would, like, it wouldn't go off, but it would like, woo, woo, and that would like tear up your refrigerator compressor and stuff like that. Remember that? And those older cars that had ignition coils and points, your car would die. Some cars would die. Like, we lived in a small town, but it was still a problem. Your car would die. It wouldn't start for a minute. Remember that? That was 74, right? The super tornado outbreak, the Ohio flooded. Remember that? There was a president, former president, they're talking about sending him to prison. Remember that? Remember 74? Remember a replacement president who was always falling down the stairs? Couldn't remember his wife's name? Really? Riding Jules has newspaper article, advertisement. Sam Carr was an actual NYPD police officer. Can you drop a link? The legend grows. Have you ever seen a British TV show called The Alan Partridge Show? Do you know who Alan Partridge is? Alan Partridge is the Donald Trump of mid-morning television. Alan Partridge. I did not know he was a character. I didn't know he was a bit. I didn't know Ali G. Have you ever seen the Ali G show? It might not be your cup of tea, but Sacha Baron Cohen is unbelievable. And he would get high-powered. He was, Barry Humphries and Sacha Baron Cohen. They're unbelievable. Well, this was a fictional character created by, because you've seen Madam. Barry Humphries played not Les Parkinson, Les Patterson. Yeah, Sir Leslie Patterson, cultural attaché to the Australian Embassy. And he also played Dame Edna Everage. Remember Dame Edna Everage? That was a fictional character, played by an actor. Alan Partridge is a fictional character. I thought he was real. The Donald Trump of British mid-morning TV. Well, he was on for so long. He did it for so long. All Sam Carr address from 1964. Okay. Rotting Jewels on SpewTube? Well, hell, I don't have to keep this a secret from you guys. Yeah, my America's been torn down and been replaced by an amusement park. Let's face it. We are the punk rock generation, and this is what we get. This is punk rock America. You understand that, right? You know Joe Biden is probably the crookedest president a person who was crooked his whole life and became president. You do realize he is probably, and I'm not exaggerating, the crookedest president we have ever had. Not saying he's doing a lousy job. All I'm saying is he is the crookedest president we have ever had. He's never even been shot. I think if you get shot, even if it's just, have you ever been shot? You ever been hit with a ball-peen hammer? Hit somebody with a ball-peen hammer as hard as you can. I know what you're thinking. Well, a bullet's not as big as a ball-peen hammer. Yeah, but it's traveling a lot faster. A bullet doesn't pierce your skin like a needle. A bullet punches a hole in your skin like a hole puncher. It's like you get hit. Go ask your best friend to hit you as hard as he or she or whatever can with a ball-peen hammer. And like, okay, just graze my face as hard as you take this ball-peen hammer and swing it as hard as you can. But just graze my face and just nick my ear with it. Have you ever read The Tale of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight? The full title is important. The Tale of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. I'll tell that to you one night, so you don't have to read it. It's very poetic, but it's actual English from across the sea. It's written in the Old English language. It's a very cool story. It's one of the greatest stories. Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. But it's about fear of death, and it's about the warrior must overcome his fear of death and how he... Yeah, I don't want to spoil it for you. Oh, what am I looking for? Writing Jewels. Alzheimer's Association. That's not it. Oh, Writing Jewels. Subscribe. I've heard of her. I know Manny been talking shit. Scientology versus Satan's slaves. Is it good? I don't have time to watch this. You're going to have to watch this for me. I'll need a précis of each episode. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I'm paying for this. Welcome to grad school. From chaos to total freedom, the process church at the final judgment. Is she any good? Is she disinfo prop? Is this Manny on steroids? Is this Manny? This isn't Manny. How can I see her? Do I have to subscribe? I will subscribe. I'm subscribing right now. Is it Scientology versus Satan slaves or Michael Aquino Latter-day Live? You said it was her last live stream. Son of Sam Dog's Breakfast. Is that the one? Dog's Breakfast? Okay, that's only an hour. When I get off here before I go to sleep, I'll check it out. She's interesting, right? Cool. 3.5 thousand subscribers. I'm in that fucking league. Considering... I've hit a ceiling at 2,700 and change. The Buffard interview. Mr. Whispering Death, vibe check. So she's like full time into this shit. Guess who's back? Okay. Well, if she's got things like newspaper articles, I'm on board. The Purloined Letter. It's good. He invented that genre, you know. A genre. He invented that genre. She's not that broad from Don't Fuck with Cats. True crime is propaganda. Nick Rossi, the LDS, and ritual abuse. Well, maybe I've inspired a devotee. Or is it devotee? Maybe I have a devotee. Got some production value here. Oh, there's a British... Okay, she's just a cam girl with doing true crime. I don't mean it that way. No, there's a British documentary channel. Do you know, like Jansen Media on YouTube and other places, you'll find a lot of stuff produced by Jansen Media. And there's History Hit, right, where they make their own. They have a catalog of a lot of videos, and then they also make their own. There's one, and the host comes on and starts off like this, and then they go into, I think someone's been inspired by an example. That's what I think. Looks like she's got some knowledgeable fans. Well, what can I say? If I had like that, I'd have 3,500 subscribers. That's the 800 subscribers I'm missing. Mine are starting to sag. That's the problem. I'd show you mine, but they're starting to sag. I should do this show topless. Not even men can be topless on YouTube, right? That has to be, you have to be 18 and over. If I were to go topless, you wouldn't know shit. If I took my top off right now, you would not know whether to shit or go blind. If I can't hear it,
I'm Professor Thomas Henry Horan, asking you
Never
to
mind.
please stay.
Now I know how Ernie Kovacs felt. Ernie Kovacs had a huge budget. Did you see what his budget was for that show? His budget was huge. They didn't know what to put on TV when Ernie Kovacs first went on TV. They had no idea what to put on TV. Okay, I'm going to get off here and watch some of this stuff. Thank you all for hanging out with me. I'm going to I'll try to, tomorrow or Monday, live stream, I'm going to show you. So if you haven't had a chance to see it, I'm not going to watch the whole movie. I'm going to show you a couple of chunks, because I don't want to spoil it for you yet. Watch Double Indemnity, the 1944 version. And watch it with a microscope. That movie, I'm falling asleep watching it every night. It's that good. And at first you think, well, Fred McMurray's not believable in this part. That's the point. That's one of the very best movie portrayals. That director, William Wilder, knew exactly who he wanted for that part. And Fred McMurray had been playing heavies. But he's not the slightest bit believable in this movie. And that's what's one of the most important things about that movie. Then there's Barbara Stanwyck. Mwah. Then there's Edward G. Robinson. Mwah. Then there's the guy who plays the president of the insurance company. Small part. Mwah. And it's a William Wilder movie, so there isn't one wasted second. You won't have time to catch your breath in this movie. And it's 2 hours long, but there's not one wasted second. They didn't make 2-hour movies in those days. This movie had to be 2 hours long. It's perfect. It's perfect. The Maltese Falcon is perfect. All of the imperfection, and then we're going to watch The Big Sleep, because I think that movie's better than most critics give it credit for. Apparently they had problems, and they had to reshoot because the studio really liked the chemistry between Bogart and this very, very young 18, 19-year-old actress named Mrs. Bogart. What's her name? But it's, well, from no, she's not in Casablanca. She's great in it, though, and she could sing. Did you know she could sing? Why is my mind going blank? It's past my bedtime, and I've had too much excitement for one day. The professor's had enough excitement for one day. Can I listen to her podcast? Because I'm afraid I might get distracted. I guess I could put it on my phone and not wear my glasses. I'm not getting off here. Bogart and Bacall. Lauren Bacall. Oh, thanks, Shane. The encouragement means something. It does. I can't hear you guys. Laugh. I don't know if you're laughing. I don't know if you're rolling your eyes. I don't know if you're falling asleep. That has its advantages, and I suppose it has its disadvantages. I can safely say I have never flopped.
I'm Professor Thomas Henry Horan, asking you to please stay plugged in to the Stones Unturned podcast.
He reads everything.
Is it still lagging? Okay. Oh, hi, Fire Pixie. I'll see you real soon. Probably tomorrow.